It's 4:27. Yes. And I have an alarm set for 6:30 tomorrow morning, about 14 hours and 2 minutes from now. Yes. You know how important alarm clocks are that you need to wake up. I had a lot of extra time today, and I'm happy that I did. I did a lot of research about the municipal code of Seattle. Yeah. As much as each city would say, well, their laws are not enforceable in Port Angeles, or the laws in Seattle are not enforceable in Sequim or Port Townsend or any of these other cities. Quite often, when you have a large number of persons that are residents of a city, yeah, it usually seems to me that that city, considering the size of it, yes, wants to make absolutely sure that the law is correct. Poop. Now, I made some screenshots that I thought were somewhat important. See, it says here in the Municipal Code of Seattle that if a protection order, yeah, restrains the respondent, yes, shall be a fixed period not to exceed 1 year. I had mentioned in numerous emails in 2016, I think it was, that you issued it for 10 years. Oh, you know, when you get served a protection order in the Sequim Public Library, yes, by an individual that was probably not the actual sheriff, yes. As a father, it causes you to kind of look at exactly what it is that you're doing as a court. Yes. Now, this idea of the use of forgeries, yes. You actually can't do it according to the laws of the city of Seattle. Yes. Now, the receipt of the petition, the court shall order a hearing, which shall be held not later than 14 days from the date of the order. Yes. Possibly you could do a telephone thing. Yeah. Require assurances of petitioner's identity before conducting a hearing. Yes. Now, these RCWs where there's exceptions to the rule, yeah. You were probably going to just say I was crazy. Oh, is that what you were going to say? See, does the alleged mental illness affect my having children? Yes. Because it says if a protection order restrains the respondent from contacting the respondent's minor children, yeah, restraint shall be for a fixed period not to exceed 1 year. Uh-huh. Did you just want to say I was crazy? With regard to the other relief, if the petitioner has petitioned for relief on her own behalf or on behalf of the petitioner's family or household members, minor children, the court finds her likely to resume acts of domestic violence. You know, actually, I had my record expunged, didn't I, in 2012? Yes. Um, does this qualify as an exception to the rule of being an actual parent? No contact until there's a mental health evaluation of respondent. Yep. Treatment if recommended. Now, is this a forgery because it doesn't look like the other signature? Yes. And then this idea that issuing it without the petitioner's signature. You know, they have in Seattle what's known as contempt of court, where when you schedule a court hearing and you do not appear and you do not produce any personal testimony or any other documentation, yes, you can be tried for contempt of court. Now, just looking at these various municipal right now, her refusal to appear at court is actually a contempt of court. It's not a chance to sign it. Right. It's not that she's too busy. Yes. The petitioner actually petitioned the court to have the court hearing, didn't she? Yes. So, is there some reason you didn't contempt her for not appearing in court? Because it says here, yes, that when required to appear in court, you can be contempted of court. Now, let me see here. Yeah. It seems that Port Angeles, um, false reporting. Yeah. Now, They have false reporting in Seattle. Yes. What would you call the traffic citation? I mean, as I had explained, yes, I would say it's a false report. Yes. hmm When I wasn't in Sequim, Washington, and then I told you that as soon as you gave me something to write on, I wrote on this when I was in jail. Now, you wanted me to doubt my own self? Guilty of false reporting if he or she knowingly makes a false or misleading material statement to a public servant? Yes. I would think that police departments are included as those that employ public servants. Means a written or oral statement reasonably likely to be relied upon by a public servant in the discharge of his or her official powers or duties. Yes. Now, you arrested me for the allegation? Yes. But who was it that called the police right now? I want you to understand something, police department. Yeah. If I found out, let's say there's this idea of contempt of court, a person is guilty of contempt of court, he or she intentionally refuses as a witness to appear, to be sworn, or without lawful authority to answer a question. Refuses without lawful authority to produce a record, document, or other object? Yes. When you have these petitioning of the courts right now, I'd say she was in contempt of court. She refused to appear, or she refused to be sworn, or she refused to answer any questions. Do you have to bring anything with you when you go to court? Well, how do I know she was there? See, you scheduled the petitioner right now. Sheriff, you're upsetting me. If a complaint charging a person with contempt of court is filed by the city attorney at the request of a judge, yes, presiding in an action or proceeding to which a contempt relates, the judge shall be disqualified from presiding at the trial. Now, I know Brent Baisden decided to sign it, yes, and decided to use a forgery to sign it, yes, and decided that the petitioner didn't have to appear in court. That's not necessarily what the Seattle, Washington actual requirements are. Yes, you do have to appear in court, or you can be charged with contempt of court or false, malicious harassment. It looks like you can't get any additional prison time. You can get a Class C felony, yes, but they upped it from $10,000 to $100,000 each time I can sue a cop. For each time that you maliciously harassed me. See, you, as a police officer, are guilty of malicious harassment if you, the police officer, intentionally commit one of the following acts because of your perception, yes, of my person's homelessness, yes, marital status, in that you thought I was a domestic abuser and a child abuser. Well, I actually didn't commit any domestic violence or child abuse. Didn't you get the evaluation from Guam, the expungement order? I emailed you today. Your perception of me was I was a domestic abuser, yes, a child abuser, yes, and I'm homeless, right, and then my parental status, right the fuck now.